As the nation watches the preliminary hearing for the man accused of assassinating Charlie Kirk, new unseen evidence is being made public for the first time.
And do you believe you recognize who that person is?
Yes.
Who is that?
I believe that's Tyler Robinson.
Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, so every piece of evidence is important and will be under intense scrutiny, including the DNA evidence, which prosecutors say links the defendant to the alleged murder weapon. But it wasn't just the defendant's DNA on that towel wrapped around the gun. It was also the suspect's roommate/lover, Lance Twiggs.
Item 7, towel from around Mauser rifle. The DNA results from item 7 sub 1 and are 1.7 octillion times more likely if Twiggs and T. Robinson are contributors than if Twiggs and an unknown, unrelated person.
And now, day 3 of the preliminary hearing is revealing even more new evidence that prosecutors hope will be enough to get this case to a jury trial. The evidence in this case is piling up. The surveillance video so compelling, the DNA linking the suspect to the weapon in this case. But not everyone's convinced. That's why I'm taking a closer look at all the evidence in the case to see if there's more to the story. I'm Vinnie Politan. Let's investigate. This is a case built on forensic evidence, direct evidence, circumstantial evidence, and eyewitness testimony. And to me, a key witness in all this is Lance Twiggs. Lance Twiggs will be the star witness in this case. This is the roommate/lover of the defendant. He apparently was transitioning at the time. And this is important because what Lance Twiggs provides for the judge and ultimately perhaps for the jury is the prosecution's motive, which is the suspect, the defendant, has a lover who is transitioning, and all of that sort of stuff is on the opposite side of the political and religious spectrum where Charlie Kirk is from. And it's as a result of that conflict that he wants to end Charlie Kirk's life and wants to just shut him up permanently from spreading his beliefs, okay? Now, Lance Twiggs, key witness in all this, but in the preliminary hearing, you won't see him because he's testifying via a recorded statement, the recorded statement that is taken when he is first interviewed. And this statement allegedly further implicates the suspect in all this and sort of verify some of the evidence for prosecutors. So it's important. It's important evidence for the prosecution. But again, he's not testifying in person. It's the recorded statement. It's a preliminary hearing. The judge allowed it over the defense's objection. Meanwhile, you take that evidence on top of the other evidence we've seen, the other video evidence, which was tracking the alleged shooter on the rooftop. And there's an image taken, and it sort of follows where the alleged shooter is going, how he ends up on the rooftop, how he then exits the rooftop and flees the scene, right? Compelling evidence from the prosecution, able to track the person they believe is responsible for all this. But despite all this evidence, right, the skeptics are not convinced online. They're still not convinced, and a lot of them are even questioning whether or not the person who is being tracked on that video is in fact the defendant himself. Is that him? Is that him? Well, here's an image of him in the sunglasses and the hat. And this is the image of the person who's been captured. And that's the person that they follow all around. Now, I've put him up on the screen next to an image that we know is the suspect. If we could just hold it right there for a second. I don't want to lose these too quickly. So on the left-hand side, this is the image of the suspect that is tracked on video. Tracked on video onto the roof, as we see on the right. Right? Is that the same person? Let's continue. Let's take a look at the next image, because what I want to compare here is whether or not. All right, hold the image right there so we can see it for a moment. On the right, clearly the suspect, the defendant in all of this. On the left, is it the same person? Is that the same person? Skeptics say, no, it's not. They say it's not even him. Okay, you take a look, you decide. The general frame is the same, lanky, thin, sunglasses on his eyes in this one, but sunglasses up on his hat on this one. And it appears he's wearing different hats in these two photos, not taken the same day. But what do you think? Is that the same person? And that's what the jury's gonna have to decide. Let's go to the next image and take a look at another image of the defendant. Let's hold it right there. Closer shot. You see the sunglasses again. Always has the sunglasses apparently with him. But it's basically the same build. The image on the left, not as clear, right? Surveillance videos never as clear. It just never is. It never works out that way. Let's take a look. I think we have one more image that we want to show you. And we take a look here. All right, let's hold it right there. Now he's got the sunglasses on. Smiling on the right, not smiling on the left, but has a hat and sunglasses on. Clearly, from my perspective, similar. Absolutely similar. Do the skeptics, do they concede that they look similar? So is part of the setup here finding a doppelganger for the defendant? And it's someone else? I'm trying to understand. I'm following the prosecution case, which makes a lot of sense, and I'm trying to look for the holes in it. And I'm trying to understand why so many people are skeptical of the prosecution evidence. Okay, let's take you into the courtroom now. This is important evidence. One of the case agents, Brian Davis, on the stand here talking about the defendant turning himself in. And as we watch and listen to this, again, if he's not the one responsible, why is he turning himself in? Is he part of this plot as well to turn himself in for a case that is now a death penalty case? Is he some sort of a martyr? I don't know. I'm trying to follow that. Like, I'm following the prosecution case, again, looking for the holes in where they may lie. Why would he turn himself in if he's 100% innocent and not the person depicted in those videos? Let's take a look.
I want to direct your attention to September 11th, 2025. Do you remember that day?
I do.
What happened on that day in relation to your investigation?
I spent the day at the command post with various assignments. That evening, it was about 8:30 p.m., I believe, of the 11th. I received a phone call from Sergeant Elsholz requesting that I travel to St. George.
Who is Sergeant Elsholz? What agency is Sergeant Elsholz with?
With SBI.
And he requested that you travel to St. George?
Correct.
What was the reason stated for that?
We received information that an individual was turning himself in, or was going to turn himself in to police in regard to his involvement with the incident, the shooting on UVU campus.
And I'm sorry, what time did you get that information, that call?
About 8:30 p.m.
Did you travel down to St. George?
I did.
On what day?
Of September 11th.
Where did you go once you landed in St. George?
There we were transported via ground to the Washington County Sheriff's Department.
Did you coordinate at that time with any other law enforcement agencies down in southern Utah?
Oh, we did.
You did?
We did, yeah.
What other agencies?
Well, with FBI as we were traveling, and then along with mainly the Washington County Sheriff's Department. We also have agents with an SBI assigned to the southern Utah area. So working with them as well, just making plans and coordinating resources and manpower and personnel.
And you stated you went to the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
Yes.
What time did you arrive there?
Probably somewhere close to midnight, maybe just a little bit before midnight of the 11th.
What happened next?
So we met several other investigators, agents, and detectives there, along with some other prosecutors. There were some federal prosecutors as well that were present. And from there, we began kind of making plans, determining how to handle the situation there.
You mentioned the reason you went down there was you had been told that an individual wanted to turn themselves in.
That's correct.
Did you observe that individual?
I did.
And where was that person at the time?
So when we arrived, we went into the room that we were in. It was one of their office, the cubicles there. On the wall, there was a television monitor where I viewed an individual on that screen that was sitting in one of the soft interview rooms. That room was equipped with audio-video recording device, and so I observed him on that screen at that time.
Were you aware, or did you become aware what time that individual arrived at Washington County Sheriff's Office?
I was told he arrived there about 9 p.m. that evening.
And was he with anybody else?
He had been, he'd come there with his parents and a family friend.
Did you speak with this individual that we've been talking about?
Yes, I did.
Did you get his name?
Yes, we obtained his name and date of birth.
What was his name?
Tyler Robinson.
Did he tell you that himself?
He did.
You mentioned other individuals came there with him. And then you also said that you had kind of coordinated with the team of law enforcement officers that were there. Were those other individuals spoken with by law enforcement?
They were.
Let's go through them.
Just hold it for 1 second. As we see this wide shot, we can see the suspect watching every moment of all of this. He's not stupid. He's actually a pretty smart student, or was a smart student at one point. But he's turning himself in. He's turning himself in. Parents convinced him to do it, right? There's DNA connected to this case. There's surveillance video connected to this case. There's alleged confessions made, communications with Lance Twigg connected to this case. All the evidence is going one way. If he's a patsy, if he's set up for this, is he part of it? Is that what we think? Is that what the skeptics think here? That he's part of the whole thing? That they're using him? And who's using him? Like, how are they contacting him? It's one thing to point out things that, oh, that doesn't make sense, or I have a couple of questions about that, because everything's not always clear in a criminal trial. But I'm trying to understand, like, how it is all this evidence points to one person. All of it. Let's continue to watch.
Who, or I guess, how did that happen? Who was spoken to first of the other individuals?
So Tyler's mother was interviewed by SBI agent Holgreen and FBI agent Cox. And then kind of simultaneously, his father was being interviewed by SBI agent Terry and FBI agent Smith. And also, at that time, the family friend Mike Mitchell was interviewed by other agents as well.
And you said that these interviews were being conducted simultaneously?
Yes.
Were you part of the interview with either of Tyler's parents?
Yes. Yes, myself and Agent Folger. Did I misspeak earlier? Myself and Agent Folger interviewed the mother.
All right, let's make sure the record's clear on that. So Agent Folger, what agency is he with?
With FBI.
And yourself interviewed Tyler's mother?
Yes, that's correct.
I just want to make sure the record's clear. Who interviewed Tyler's father?
Yeah, I think I might have misspoke. It was Agent Holgreen, Agent Cox that met with his father.
And then who spoke with family friend Mike Mitchell?
Agent Terry, Agent Smith.
Down in St. George, Washington County Sheriff's Office, was Mr. Robinson detained at that time?
Yes, he was.
Was he formally arrested at that time?
Yeah, after all the interviews were completed, when we talked to everybody, he was formally arrested at that time.
And I'm going to come back to that in a second. Well, excuse me, where did the arrest take place?
At the Washington County Sheriff's Office.
And what date did that happen on?
Would have been September 12th. It was about 4 a.m., I believe, of September 12th.
At Washington County Sheriff's Office, where you initially observed Mr. Robinson, you stated that he was in a room. Is that room equipped with video recording?
Yes, it is.
Is that standard practice for a facility like that to have video recording in such a room?
Yes, very, very common.
Agent Davis, who are we seeing here?
That's Tyler Robinson.
Let's hold there for 1 second. So these are the first images that we're seeing publicly in the court of him on the night he's turning himself in. Not the night that they figured out who it was or who they thought it was and they tracked him down at his house and they went in with guns a-blazing. No, this is him turning himself in. By the way, wearing a black hat, just for the record. Can we note that he is wearing a black hat? He's got a maroon shirt on, which I think is the same color of a shirt he was wearing earlier on the day of the shooting before changing. Again, the same lanky build and all. But this is not a case where investigators said, all right, let's get this guy. This guy came to them. Big distinction. Big distinction. Let's watch some more.
And although we are watching it on video, what is he wearing at this time?
He's working a dark colored baseball cap with has like I believe it's like maybe the Hurley symbol on it, like a white symbol on front. It's a burgundy short sleeve shirt with no graphics. It's blue jeans and gray and white tennis shoes. I believe they're Converse style tennis shoes.
Thank you. Was Mr. Robinson, you stated that he was arrested in the early hours of September 12th, is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Did he remain in Washington County Sheriff's Office or was he taken somewhere else?
No, he was transported from there to the Utah County Jail.
Prior to being transported to the Utah County Jail, was any, I guess, personal property taken from him, clothing, anything like that?
The only thing that was